Hi boys and girls, this is Miss G, and today I am going to show you how to write an opinion piece using the Oreo graphic organizer. Now just a quick reminder, before you do this lesson, make sure that you have finished reading this article. When students fight, LA schools ask them to talk over their problems. It's very important that you have read this article and have done your best understanding what this article is all about, because you will definitely need that information to do your opinion piece today. Okay? So for those of you who might not know what the acronym OREO stands for, well, here it is. The first O is for opinion or claim. R is for reason, E is for evidence, O is for opinion, which is essentially the same claim that you will be making at the top, restated at the bottom. This sample is in color because I wanted to show you guys that there are only three parts to this writing piece. Your opinion, your reason, and your evidence. And your opinion stated again. So keep in mind that all these parts are designed to support the other. So what does that mean? Let's say, for example, you are given a question. Should students wear school uniforms at school? Once that question is given, now you're going to have to pick a side. Do you agree or not agree? Do you say, yes, students need to wear school uniforms? Or do you want to say, no, students should not be wearing school uniforms at school? So once you've made a choice, you're basically making your claim, okay? And that's what needs to go here. And of course, once you've made a claim, you can't just make a claim without giving a reason. So what would be your reason? That goes in here. Now, how do you know that your reason is good enough? The way to do that, boys and girls, is to provide examples or evidence from the text. Now, this is what's really, really important. Make sure that whatever example or whatever evidence you give here, it has to be something that must come from the text. That's why we call this text-based evidence or text-based writing. It cannot be anything that you guys just made up, okay? It has to come from the text that you've read. That's what would best support your reasoning. And of course, you end your piece with restating your claim that you made at the beginning. So think of this part here as kind of like a way to emphasize your point or your opinion or your claim. Think of it as like an ending to a story that you just made. I mean, any story has to have an ending, right? So it's just kind of like writing an opinion piece. You have to close your opinion piece. So after reviewing all that basic information, let's go ahead and do this lesson activity. So our direction says, read the article. We've done that before we went to this lesson. And to use the graphic organizer to answer this prompt. And our prompt is punishment always the best solution to solve a conflict? Well, my personal opinion is no, I do not agree that punishment is always the best solution. And after reading this article here, I realized that there are better ways to solve a problem. And that is through talking peacefully. So let's see. I'm going to now go ahead and write my claim. And let's see if this will work. And this will be my claim right now. I do not agree that punishment is always the best solution to solve a conflict. Having peaceful talks with the other person is the better solution. So here you go. There's my claim. I do not agree that punishment is always the best solution to solve a conflict. Having peaceful talks with the other person is the better solution. Now, I have to have a reason why I said having peaceful talks with the other person is the better solution. Well, once again, based on what I know and what I've read, I know that talking to other people will actually allow you to get to know them. And once you've gotten to know these people, then conflicts could be solved. So here's how I will state my reason. When you talk peacefully with the other person you're in conflict with, sometimes you realize that you actually have a lot in common, which helps you understand each other better. So here's my reason. So here's my reason statement. Okay. I believe that this will greatly support my claim. When you talk peacefully with the other person you're in conflict with, sometimes you realize that you actually have a lot in common, which helps you understand each other better. Now it's time for me to find examples to support this reasoning. Keep in mind, what makes my reason good enough is that I am able to find evidence that will support that reason. So what am I going to do, boys and girls, is I will go back to the text that I've read, and as you could tell, I've already numbered each line. I'm not going to call it paragraph. I'm just going to call it lines. So I started with number 1 all the way down to line 21. So for this article, there are 21 lines, just so you know. And I actually pre-highlighted the evidence that I thought would work really well to support my reasoning, and that would be lines 6 and 7. In line 6, it says, Banks said that talking to the student he fought with helped. And line 7 says, I realized we had a lot of similarities. Now, boys and girls, you can actually just copy paste or quote these lines directly into that graphic organizer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them together and paraphrase. So here's how that will look like paraphrase in my graphic organizer. Lines 6 and 7 of the article describe how Marquise Banks realized how talking to the other student helped because he found out they have a lot of similarities, period. Now let me just make sure, that, there you go. Lines 6 and 7 of the article describe how Marquise Banks, when you are using Google microphone, Marquise Banks, okay, you have to make sure you still need to recheck it. Realized how talking to the other students helped because he found out they have a lot of similarities. Perfect. So there you go. This is my evidence that I feel would greatly support my reasoning. So the most important piece here, boys and girls, is that when you pick an evidence, make sure that it's coming straight from whatever text it is that you are using. In this case, it's this article. Okay. Now, we come to the part where now we have to restate our claim. The way I see this, it's just another way of saying your claim at the top. What's another way of saying that? So here's how mine would look like. I believe having peaceful talks with others to resolve a conflict works better than punishment. And voila, there is my claim restated at the bottom. So there you have it, boys and girls. I finished filling out this whole graphic organizer. Now you have the option, and this is purely optional, to put your ideas together into a paragraph. And let me show you what it would look like as a paragraph. There you go. So now it's your turn. It's your turn now to grab a clean copy of this orographic organizer and do this lesson activity or do this writing activity with the other article, okay? Good luck!